Hey guys, the weather in Florida is quiet right now, but 25 years ago, that was not the case. About 25 years ago, we just passed the anniversary of it, Florida's deadliest tornado outbreak occurred where 42 people were killed, 265 were hurt, over 3,000 structures were damaged when 7 tornadoes, 3 F3 tornadoes, still the strongest in the state, touched down in Central Florida. So what was the setup behind that? Well, we had a cold front coming in like we see often in the winter months like February, but we also had a strong jet stream coming from west to east across the panhandle. We also had the low-level jet coming in, bringing warm, moist winds in from the south, and when those 3 collided, we got strong tornadoes. In total, there were 7 tornadoes that day. One of the first ones up here near Daytona Beach was an F2, but we also saw one near Claremont and Winter Garden that was an F3, and then it eventually lifted and went back on the ground in Seminole County nearing Sanford Airport and Lake Mary. One of the stronger tornadoes of the night went through Ponderosa RV Park near Kissimmee. That was also an F3, and there was also another tornado in Titusville and Rockledge near the Kennedy Space Center. So one of the stronger tornadoes from that night, and the first one, was the F2 in Daytona Beach. We noticed with the couplet here, we've got strong winds moving towards and away from the radar, just showing a traditional sign of a strong tornado. We'll also notice with the Winter Garden tornado, the only picture we have from that night is of the Winter Garden tornado. And we'll notice just a strong rotation within, right near Ocoee, approaching Winter Springs. And then if we look at the radar behind me as well, we start to notice some inflow and some rotation in with the reflectivity. The Sanford tornado, another F3, also was a continuation of the Winter Garden tornado. It lifted and eventually put itself back down in Seminole County, near to 417 in Sanford. So we notice this one a little more rain-wrapped, but the rotation is still there. We'll notice right here near Sanford, that's near the Sanford Airport right there, and Lake Jessup. So the last tornado we're going to kind of look at is the Kissimmee tornado. This was the one that had most damage with it as it went through the Ponderosa RV Park. We'll notice this one, more of a rain-wrapped tornado as well, but with the velocity, we'll see strong rotation with it, just damaging tornado. Now the tornadoes were rated F3, the strong ones were, and the Fujita scale was retired in 2007, but remember these tornadoes occurred in 1998. So taking a look at what an F2 tornado would be, that would have 113 to 157 mile per hour winds. That would make it considerable damage, and then upping it to F3, 158 to 206 mile per hour winds, making it severe. And actually the Kissimmee tornado was originally rated an F4, but after further research was conducted, it was determined it was only an F3. Still though, one of the strongest tornadoes that we can get, and the strongest in state history to this day. So where should you be in the event that you find yourself under a tornado warning? Well, the safest place to be is the basement, but many of us in Florida don't have those. So where should we go? Get as low as we can. Just get to the ground floor if possible, and get as far away from windows as possible. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Lastly, cover yourself with blankets or mattress, or even a bicycle helmet if you have one. It may sound silly, but these types of advice may be able to save your life in a tornado.